before she was 2. So we're talking about back in 2003 when no one was really having any conversation about autism. And we were really educating along the way because no one knew. We entered the public school system, special needs pre-K at 3. And before we started the special needs pre-K program, they were in daycare, like all children are. My husband and I both work. Well, one day, I went to pick them up. The coordinator said, "Can I talk to you for a second?" I've now learned that's a whole lot to that. Can I talk to you for a second? And she said, "I don't think we can handle Kendall here." Now at that point, we had therapists that were going to the daycare to help them. So she was saying, "I don't think we can support her. However, we want to keep your son." So that was our first moment of having to have a real heart-to-heart with ourselves, my husband and I. We had these 2 kids. Our thought was, we were college sweethearts. Within the first 5 years, we had bought our first home. We were working in our careers. Having 2 kids, I even did the stay-at-home mom thing for a year. Hats off to the stay-at-home moms in the world. I went back after the first year. It's like, I'm going back to work. That's easier. I can do that in my sleep. Right? Let me go back to teaching for a moment. So I did. I went back to teaching. But we had to decide, what are we going to do? Because our son was thriving. And we had to admit to ourselves she was not. So we made a decision, and our decision was we were going to leave him, and we were going to move her. Because at that point, we had to realize they had 2 different sets of needs. And in order for us to be fair to him, he didn't deserve to be moved because he was thriving. So we moved her. So I tell you that story simply because I understand what it feels like when it's like, what in the world is going on? We had mapped this thing out. We actually knew we were going to be empty nesters people. That's how much, because they were 14 months apart. We were like, oh, we're going to Africa once they both get out of high school. Like, we had this great plan. Man plan, God's laugh. So he laughed at us on that one. But we made that decision. And that was where I realized on this journey, I could not allow what was going on that I couldn't control to take my joy away. Because if we allow that to happen, so much happens with our babies. We'll walk around in this society miserable.